My name is Chad, and here we talk about actionable ways to use no-code and AI in your business. I'm the founder of Better Legal, and I use no-code and AI every day throughout my business. Unlike a lot of gurus where they're just throwing out all the new things that you might be able to see, what this channel is dedicated to is entrepreneurship as well as no-code and AI, and how I use things or how I experiment with things to then figure out how to implement them in my business. And so I also answer questions, and I have a question that says how to use ChatGPT to create JSON for API stuff. And what that means is, it's all fun and good to use ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever to, have a conversation and talk about stuff. But if you want to infuse AI into your actual business, be it like a software business, for example, or maybe it's an internal tool that you're building with no code, you need a way for the AI to give you information in a structured format that is repeatable every single time, so you can kind of integrate it into the interface. And so what I mean by that is when this web page is rendered, so I'm using Goodreads as an example. If I go to Goodreads, this data, the title, the author, the average review, the number of reviews, the number of ratings, the what is it called? The cover of the book. And then this synopsis, genre, all of these things are individual values in a database. You can think of this, if you're not familiar with databases, you can think of this as, in a spreadsheet, you would have in the top row, you'd have title, author, average review, number of reviews, link to image. And so this would be, a cell under, column A. It would be a short walk through the wide, whatever that says. And so this is basically taken into structured information. So today I'm going to show you how to take unstructured information and turn it into structured information. And so what I did was I literally copied this. I just copied it. I went to ChatGPT and I said, create a JSON framework. If you don't know what JSON is, I actually don't know what it stands for. I think it's like some JavaScript Object Notation, maybe. Anyway, let me know in the comments. But basically JSON is kind of a way, think of it like a CSV. If you export an Excel file, and you're uploading it somewhere, you don't necessarily save it as an Excel file. You save as CSV, and it's just like the information, comma, information, row 1, comma, row 2, comma, row 3, comma. So JSON is basically similar to that. So I said create a JSON framework for a book based on the information provided below, and then I pasted that information that I copied. I said, here you go. Boom, JSON. So I can just copy this. I can literally just copy this, and it's right there. And so let's see what it gave me. We've got the title. We have the genre, comparables. You can see that it says The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue meets Life of Pi. But somehow it got the title. Where in the world did it get the title? I didn't include this or this. I only included this. So let's see if it has a short walk. So it's in here, and it was able to extract that and put it in here. And so it just created this framework on its own. I didn't give it any instructions. Now I could say something like, make sure to provide the title and the genre and the things that I care about. But what I like to do is say, give me a framework and see what it gives me based on, the content that I have, and see what it just comes up with on its own. And so this is what it gave me. And then I said, remove all the values of this framework, but keep the keys so I can use this in future prompts on different books. And so, keys, values, what are these? So in a JSON framework like this, this is the key. So you might have heard of a key value pair. You can look that up, Google it yourself. But this is the key, and this is the value. So this is a key and value pair. So whenever I'm talking to the computer and I'm talking about a value, this is the value and this is the key. So when I say remove all the values, I'm saying I don't need this. Remove all the values of this framework, but keep it all the keys so I can use it in future prompts. Boom, here we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, I'm going to pick different books and I'm going to give it new instructions. I'm going to say, I'm going to give you a series of books, a book, what do we call this? Description? Yeah, description. We'll call it description. Book descriptions. Your task is to fill in the provided JSON framework values for each book provided in the coming prompts, maybe? No. Okay, so then I'm going to give it that. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, I'm not giving it a book yet. I'm saying I'm going to give you a series of book descriptions so it knows what it's supposed to do. Your task, I'm telling it, your task is to fill the provided JSON. Here's the JSON I provided below. You might even say something like, JSON like this if you're giving instructions. I think it knows, so it's going to do it. All right. Your task is to fill in the provided JSON framework's values for each book provided in the coming prompts. So let's see. I think it knows what to do. And so I next should say like, all right, give me the description. Let's do this. Sounds like an interesting task. I'm glad you think so. Go ahead and give me the first book description. Let's do this. All right, so let's go to Ghost Station. I just picked random ones. Here we go. All right. And then we're going to do this one. Oh, this is a really short one. Let's do a longer one. I want to make sure it's providing good feedback. That's going to be the next one. All right, so let's see if it gets all the information. Okay, so title. So it doesn't know the title, probably because the title is not in the description. But it does know science fiction and horror. It does know this. So it got all this stuff, but let's see if it got... you'd have to kind of manually make sure this got, okay, genre, comparables, description. All right. Genre, comparables, description, and then metadata is author, publisher, release date, ISBN, got it, synopsis, initial incident, main plot, climax. Okay, so it looks like it got, if it didn't get it all, it kind of got most of it. And when it doesn't have an answer, it just says unknown. So what we could do to fix this is say, instead of unknown, just leave it blank. Just, put nothing there. That way, in a future step, we could say, we could follow up maybe with more information and say, if you don't have this data filled out, if it's blank, fill it out. So I might, give it more information, like another description of the same book. And then on the second step, it can come back and fill it out. So you can have multiple, multiple pieces of content filling in the framework over time. Okay, so let's do the second one. Again, doesn't know the book, but it knows this young adult, fantasy, post-apocalyptic. After adults turn into monsters in Brocktown, Connecticut, high school, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's basically how that works. So if I were to do this into a task, I could Let's see. So check this out. Okay, so I've got a couple of these. Provide all the... Let's do one more book first. Let's do a business book. This is a great book. I loved it. Highly recommend. And it's got... Okay. Okay, so here's something that a lot of people don't know that you can do that is actually pretty cool. Is if you give it a task like this, and you're having it do this information, you're like, oh, okay, now I want this in a spreadsheet. How do I get this out of this conversation into a spreadsheet? Well, friend, take all the JSON you provided and place it to a downloadable CSV so I can import it into a spreadsheet. So the point of using JSON like this is to find something that you can do, a value add that AI can do, a task that it can do that is difficult for humans or difficult for code to do. Have it do it, but have it do it on a regular and consistent basis. And so this is how I develop AI products for my no-code projects. Is I just fumble around and I play with the conversation, and I start in ChatGPT, and I try to get it to do stuff, and then I learn what it's good at and what it's bad at, and then I just kind of alter that, and I start new chats, and I start over, and I just kind of evolve that over time. And then once I know kind of what I'm looking for, I create the JSON framework, and I have it provide the answers only in JSON. I say you only provide unredacted JSON, and here's an example. Here's the framework. You have to fill this out, blah, blah, blah. And then once I have that, then I can put that kind of workflow into my no-code project, and now, boom, you have an AI application. So here we have the CSV, and we're going to import this into books data. There you go. And so now it's in a spreadsheet. So then you can do the same thing with just uploading it to a database, whatever. And so this is how I create AI applications, or this is kind of the base of how I start to create AI applications for my no-code project. So if you have questions, follow-up questions on this, I'm happy to answer, but hopefully you found this useful.